Hey guys, thank you for listening to the podcast and supporting what we are trying to do. I do have a favor to ask. If you could help keep this podcast going, please head over to Patreon, support over there under Daddy Issues AFD. I went through the same bullshit, so I understand how it goes, and now I'm really trying to help others. I do all this on my free time and I'm trying to keep it going. I believe it's helping out dads out there. If you can jump over and support on Patreon, that would be a huge help. It's under Daddy Issues AFD. Thank you guys.
I don't think anybody ever processes, what it's like when, as a man, obviously, when your significant other is with somebody else, it builds so much, you know, I don't even know how to call it, but, like I feel like my self worth was gone.
Awesome, man. Thank you for jumping on the podcast. Yeah, I'm excited to hear a little bit about your story. If you want to introduce yourself and then jump right in.
Yeah, man. My name is Chris Sanchez. So pretty much my story is, I was not technically engaged, but I'd been with this girl for a while. I loved her with everything I had. I'm a police officer, so obviously, I work long hours, nights and days, just depending on where they needed me. And she stuck with me through a lot of things. And I started getting promoted and stuff, so obviously was working a lot more. We had a baby and a little girl, and things were just going really good for us. We were living the normal, family life, stuff like that. There was a little bump in the road where we just started arguing and just wasn't getting along. And come to find out, she ended up messing with one of my shift partners that I worked with. And
No
yeah,
way.
a guy that I brought to that department with me. I went to the academy with him, and we were best friends. We were really close, and so and I saw the videos that were sent, and stuff like that. And I don't think anybody ever processes, what it's like when, as a man, obviously, when your significant other is with somebody else, it builds so much, you know, I don't even know how to call it, but like I feel like my self worth was gone.
Oh, 100%. I did. Oh my God. The last couple stories, man, a couple of dads, same exact thing. And I'm just like, man, like I don't know what I would do if I caught my woman doing that.
Yeah, and it was rough, and I went to the point where I wanted to fix things, and I thought we were going to be able to fix things, but I could just never let that out of my mind, and so ended up deciding I needed a break and all this stuff. So I took my daughter to the beach with my brothers and my aunts, my uncles, and stuff like that. And the whole time I'm gone, we're messaging back and forth. Let's work this out. I love you. She's telling me she loves me and all this other stuff. Come back from the beach, everything was great. We were about to start living together again. Things were looking up for our family. I was being more of a present dad, like I needed to be, taking more time off work and really just focusing on the family aspect of things. And I'm sitting right there, and I see her phone and see the messages she was deleting when I was at the beach. She was messing with a firefighter while I was gone, another guy. So the whole time she's telling me she loves me, she's messing with this guy and talking to him, sending him things and pictures and videos and going to see him. This whole time I'm gone with our daughter to the beach. You know, and so
Jesus.
it was just and I tried to get her to come to the beach with us, thinking that that might help, but she didn't want to go, and obviously now I know why she didn't want to go.
Right. That's what's tough too is like you're working those long hours, but you're and clearly you got promoted, you were doing what you should be doing. You're protecting and providing for your family, and that seems to be the theme of all these women when they kind of step out of their relationship. It's the husband was gone working and he's away, and she kind of is at home. Maybe she's bored or whatever, but she doesn't have that spark, and but then you tried to fix it, but she was clearly already checked out.
Yeah, yeah, and we've tried to fix things even past that. I was so vulnerable and felt like I really just had to have her in particular, and went back, so many times, and it was always I could just never let it out of my head, and we could just be laying down, getting ready to go to sleep, and it crossed in my head, and I just couldn't. I could never trust her to that extent, and it hurts so bad. I mean, during that time I ended up leaving that department where I was promoted at and took another spot at a closer agency. And so I was, loving that job and all this other stuff, and seeing those messages and stuff again, just going through my head and stuff like that, and seeing more messages. It got to the point where there was a night. Obviously, I'd started drinking and really just had hit a downhill, spiral. It was just going on for days. I just kept drinking and drinking and drinking. And I called one of my partners at my new agency and told him, I was like, hey, this is where you're going to find me. And I went and took my duty weapon out and I put it on the table, and I was all prepared to commit suicide.
No.
Yeah, and so it meant a lot to me that he showed up along with the chief or he was the captain at that time. He's now the chief. They showed up and kicked my door open and come in there and got me out of the floor. And I had to go to classes and stuff, and obviously try to get back on a good track to where I needed to be, and not drink so much and get to that point. And just I feel like a lot of men result to that. The drinking is very.
Your whole world crashes down. I mean, the depression that you take on is huge because that was your life. That's your world. Your woman, you guys have a kid. I mean, there's nothing better than that. And then she's going around messing with other dudes. It's like, yeah, the depression is crazy.
Oh yeah, and I think at the end of the day, a lot of men, they can relate to, especially when your woman steps out, like you said, it's one of the hardest things to swallow, especially when you have a child involved in it. I started feeling like I wasn't an active dad, like I wasn't a part of her life anymore. And obviously the thoughts go through your head of, well, what if another guy comes in? What if she starts calling him dad? What if this and that and that?
Yeah.
And so it stings. And I'm trying now to be a better father than what I was. And honestly, I find more happiness by myself than I did with her. I'm more active in her life. I'm more active in my family's life. I surround myself with great people now. And so that's really what I've focused on. But at the end of the day, I look back, and I can see, her where she posts Facebook pictures and stuff like that of trying to get all these likes and stuff, and it's really to get under my skin. She makes sure to send me text, and stuff like that. It's supposed to be in regards to our daughter, but she always steps outside of that, and it's always, you're not this and you're not that, and so a lot of times I do feel belittled, and stuff like that. And that, it sucks, but I'm trying to get through every single day the best I can with it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll definitely get through it. It just takes time, and it sucks because a lot of guys out there are like, oh, if my wife cheated on me, I'm fuck her, I'm walking out, I'm out. You know what I mean? And it's so hard to actually do that. I mean, obviously there are some guys who can be like, step away, but you have your kids, you really want to fix the situation, and you almost sit there like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, why are you stepping out and being with another guy? Like, what am I doing wrong? You know?
Yeah, and that was one of the main things when I first met her. I mean, we connected. I mean, I was I was in that teenage love stage to where I counted as many days as we were together. We spent so many days together before we slept apart somewhere else. I mean, immediately met her. She moved in. We had known each other before we ever got, physically got together or anything like that and started a relationship. And she was just a down to earth girl. And I remember sitting there in my bed, talking to her or texting her and messaging her on Instagram, and I was like, this is the one, man. This is the one. Like, I just feel it. She was
Yeah.
sweet. My mom loved her. All my brothers loved her and everything. I just like, she just fit so perfectly within our families, us being so close and all. And so it definitely hurts. Still does. I still think about her a lot, and think about the what ifs.
Yeah.
What if this would have worked out? What if I would have done this? But I've talked to a lot of friends, and sought a lot of advice. And at the end of the day, we're all full of mistakes, but I know I didn't step out, and I know that I was loyal to the T when it came to it. I was just trying to go to work and provide and do what I needed to do, and it I think it hits a lot different for a lot of people when they step out with somebody and somebody that you trust.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And good thing you had a support system too, because that's one of the biggest things we talk about on here is, especially when something like that happens, because obviously you were depressed and thank God your buddies came
Yeah.
and helped you out of that hole. But yeah, the support system's huge.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. And I think us trying to work things out. I think I knew at the end of the day none of it was going to work. I think I was just
Yeah.
trying convince myself that she was going to change and things were going to be different, and there is things that I could have worked on, as a boyfriend or fiance, and really worked on and try to be better at. But I know at the end of the day, when I was going to work, these long hours, when I was picking up these extra shifts and all that, I mean, we needed the money, having a baby is expensive. So, house and, cars, we got her a brand new car, was making payments on it, paying a house mortgage and all that stuff. It was, I needed the money. I needed to go to work. And she was so bad about, I'd come home and wouldn't even know where my child's at because she would go, give my child to her parents. And it was because she was overstimulated and, all this and stuff. And I understood, but at the same time, we're adults and, we made the baby. We have to sit there and kind of, go through the cycle of it. And when we're giving her away and stuff like that to her parents all the time, it just started taking a toll on everything. I mean, and I think the main thing I can say to that is that what she did was wrong. I know. And at the end of the day, I can't forgive her. I try, and there's no easy way to go about trying to forgive somebody like that. Was I lost trust in my friends after that. I lost trust in family. She's talked to family and done this and done that with other people, and I mean it hurts. I think I watched my heart sink to my stomach. I could feel it crumbling, seeing those messages and stuff like that. And I get people now still that message me and go, "Hey, this is what she's doing. This is what she's doing." And a part of me, tries to avoid it and all that, but it still hurts. I'd be lying to you if I told you it didn't, because I want it
Yeah.
so bad, but I know it's not meant for me.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully in a couple of years, you guys will at least be on good terms as like, with your kid and hopefully, friends in that type of way, but not, I would never go back and try to be in a relationship. It's just not going to work. But what's the situation with your kid now? Like, do you have 50-50 or?
Yeah, so we do 50-50, and it is hard because there's probably better ways to go about talking to each other about corresponding with our child. But so our child goes to a private school now, and so we just use the school as a drop off pretty much, so we don't have to see each other. And
Oh, is that you guys are really like, you don't want anything? Just like,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
wow. Yeah.
and I love her to death, and I still want the world for her. But and there was times, lately, a couple months ago, where I was so desperate and thinking I needed to have her. Um, so it's just I just my heart wants it, but I can't go back and be vulnerable again. I see myself going down a downhill when I do that, and every time it's turned me into a worse person than what I needed to be. My coworkers see it, my daughter sees me, over here begging for her mom and all that, and it was just a toxic environment. But our daughter's happy. We do 50-50 right now. We pretty much 1 week on, 1 week off. And if there's something that comes up in between with work or something like that, she's pretty understanding as far as, hey, I'll take her, and I'll watch her tonight and all this other stuff. So I mean, it works out good right now, but there is still a lot of times where I'll text or say something and it's I get a bullshit response from her where she's just trying to talk shit or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, and she's very good at gaslighting, and she knows how to push my buttons.
Yeah, I did me and my ex did the same thing with the drop-offs. We drop them off at school. So like that way we didn't interact. I will say I don't know how old your daughter is, but they see the mommy and daddy don't like each other. Like they feel it and they see it and it's just not good obviously for the kids. Um but hopefully in a couple of years you guys will be somewhat decent.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping for, man. Main thing is when I was growing up, I didn't have much of a father, and so my father left when I was younger and stuff like that, and he had another family, and he's been more active in my life as a grown up, but as a child. So I always promised myself that I'd be an active father. Obviously, with the type of
Yeah.
work I do, it is hard, to come home and want to play, all the time and stuff like that, because the night could have went from anything from suicides to homicides to anything, um, so it's hard to come home and unwind and take that time to, focus on her and stuff like that. But with me
Yeah.
talking to people and stuff like that, I'm trying to get better at things. And I really focused a lot on my job. I've always done that. I love my job and what I do. They say you have to have a servant's heart to be a police officer. and so it's one thing I'm really passionate about. And so, but I'm also trying to be the best father I can be to her. And I have a lot of great friends, like I said, that really help me right now. So if I need help with picking her up or anything like that, they're quick about going to get her, and she loves them to death and calls them uncles and aunts and everything like that. And it's just a big support system. And honestly, man, if I didn't have that, I don't think I'd be here to be telling you anything about my story right now. I mean, it's been a long year. I'll put it to you like that already. So and just this has been going on 2 years now, where we've tried to go back and fix things and stuff like that. But I wish there was a way that I could forgive and forget, and but I can't even look at her now without feeling some type of way against her.
Yeah. Now, did you guys go to court for 50-50, or did you guys just do that on your own?
So it started as a mutual agreement when we originally split up. The very first time when I caught her messing with the firefighter and stuff like that, when I got back from the beach and stuff like that, we had a mutual friend who drew up papers for us as a paralegal and stuff like that. We both signed them and talked to the judge and all that stuff, and everything was solid. You know, and then luckily we did that, on good terms. And then as things started falling apart, the paper stayed. Um, but I mean, we tried to fix things since we did the papers, and so it was great to have that as a backup plan in case things didn't work out, which obviously they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, we it was kind of mutual of what we wanted. So because I've always been the kind of guy, like, I don't believe in paying child support if you're an active dad. If you're a part of your daughter's life and it's 50-50, it's 50-50. It needs to be right down the middle. So she pays for what she wants to at her house and all that stuff. And, I pay for whatever's at my house and her clothes and stuff like that. Whatever outfit she comes in or comes to my house in, I wash it and send it right back to her when it's time. And same thing, vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, man, I don't want to say you have it easy because you don't, but you definitely have it. Your daughter has it good right now with, like, it could be way worse.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. I've gotten to the point now to where I'm very grateful for how things did turn out as with her and the papers and stuff like that. It is hard having her here because she wants her mom a lot, and I don't have the answers to tell her, because she probably won't like my answers,
Yeah.
you know. But I try to talk nice about her mom in front of her and stuff like that. I never try to say any type of bad things about her. Um,
It's
and another
huge.
thing.
Kids pick up on that.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's
oh
good. Yeah.
yeah, and she repeats anything. So she goes back and she'll tell her mom everything. And that's one thing. And her mom had to have a talk about, was her mom would interrogate her. Leaving my house, like, who was there, what were they doing. She'd message me and go, "Who's KK? Who's this? Who's that?" And
Yeah.
all this other stuff. And it just, I don't believe in doing that. I had that conversation with my best friend last night. I consider my brother. I had that conversation with him last night about when it comes to our children and stuff, not asking those type of questions, because sometimes you just don't want the answer to it. You don't want to know that, and it's not any of their business. The way I see it, if you walked out of my life, you don't want nothing to do with me. You no longer have that right to ask me or know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And you just don't want your kid in the middle of that shit. For the grown people's business, it's like, it's just not good.
Yeah, and it's been hard for her, man. It has. The sleep thing. She wants to sleep in the bed with me because that's what she does at her mom's house, and so trying to teach her different things of, at mommy's house we do this, at daddy's house we do that. It's so hard. Plus we're still at the potty training stage, so it's just even it's even more difficult.
Yeah, like you and mom have to be on the same page for that to happen, because she's just going to be confused.
Yeah, and it's been a challenge, to say the least,
I
man.
bet.
Um, but I think as the years go by, I'll start to feel better about things. And I think her mom will hopefully change some things that she does. And if she doesn't, man, that's just that's on her. I feel like I'm doing everything I can. You know, and I got a buddy who's going through the same sort of similar situation right now. So me and him bounce ideas off each other, how to be great dads, how to do this, how to do that. And like I said, he's pretty much my brother. In my opinion, we're just really close. And I mean, he's dealt with me from the suicidal thoughts, man, being at work and saying, man, when I get home, this is what I'm going to do. So we have a thing we say where it's, hey, don't go be stupid.
Yeah.
You know, don't go be stupid. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll keep going, And so I think my biggest thing right now is just focusing on me and what I got to do right now and how to be, top tier dad, top tier police officer, top tier, boyfriend material, whoever, whatever I got to do. That's my main focus right now. And a lot of it, putting the alcohol down. And, because that was my go to, is alcohol. And so I think a lot of men choose that because it's easy to get a hold of. It's the one thing that's guaranteed. It's not going to hurt your feelings, but it'll hurt you the next morning. It's just been it's been a challenge, but we're getting there, man.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Time heals all wounds, and it's like it sucks that you got to go through it because I've been going through this shit for 8 years with my ex, and now we're to the point where like we can message each other and say something. Granted, we still don't like each other, but we're doing it for our kids, and my oldest is about to be in high school, and it's just you see basketball games, volleyball games, shit like that. Me and her mom don't sit next to each other, but I have two daughters, so one of them, comes and she doesn't know what to do. She's like, "Do I go sit with mom? Do I sit with dad?" So you see the tension, and it's just shitty that they have to grow up like that, because they're just kids, man. They're just confused. But yeah, hopefully it gets better for you, man. I mean, it will. It just takes time.
Yeah, man, and that's all it is. I think my biggest I would say flaw right now is that I feel like I wasn't attractive enough to her, so I try to change my appearance. I feel like I didn't have enough money, so I work more now.
But
I
you
just do
can't put that stuff on you. You know what I mean?
it.
Like you just got to
Self
be you and do you, and if she doesn't like it, she doesn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely, man. And I think with her, with the way the story played out, one of my things now is that I don't trust a lot of people, and so I'm trying to get back to where I can start opening myself up to where I need to be for people, and like I said, be the best best friend I can be, or best brother I can be, and best father, whatever I need to do to step up and fix the way that things unfolded for me to where I started self sabotaging all the time. And so I think that's crucial in a lot of things. And I see that in a lot of people, and nobody ever tells you. It's easy as a police officer to go here and fix everybody else's problems, but nobody tells you how to fix it. And that's been the hardest thing for me.
Yeah. I think that's with anything. It's easy to tell someone else to do something or how to get better, but it's like, can you do it yourself? It's much harder to look inward. Yeah.
And I see these, the guys that she is messing with, and all that. We live in a close, small little town out here, so everybody knows everybody out here. So all these people, I see that I went to school with, or like firefighters, or whatever he may be, whoever they are. I try to be as nice as I can about things, but I mean it's hard. It's hard seeing them because I feel like I feel like once she was vulnerable to somebody else, it just, man, it kills me inside. Still to this day, kills me inside. I mean, I haven't been able to move on and do the things I need to do because I'm still so stuck on that. So it's just one day at a time is what I've been telling myself,
Yep.
man. One day.
Yeah. It just takes time, and you already sound like you're doing better and getting working on yourself. So that really is all it is. And eventually you're going to be up here and not even be thinking about what she's doing and who she's messing with. So
Yeah, most definitely. And social media is a huge thing. So I've limited on what I go and look at on social media, or who I'm friends with on social media. Because we have some close friends with each other, or whatever. Snapchat and stuff like that. I don't watch stories that I don't think I need to, because it might have her in it, and I might not like what I see. Um, Stuff like that. So I'm trying, man. I am, and I don't know what I'm gonna do when I'm in your position when it comes to sports and stuff like that. Having to see her, because I've done so good right now about having to not see her. And this will be the first time, this next month that my daughter will be turning 3, and we're not gonna have a joint birthday party. So, I don't know how I'm
see
gonna
that stuff's so
act.
hard.
Yeah, because we've always
Yeah.
done it together, and it's
Yeah.
just.
And your daughter gets confused too. She's going to be like, "Oh, why isn't dad here? Why isn't mom here? What's going on?" And again, it's easy for me to tell you like, "Oh no, just suck it up and be there and all that." But even in my situation, we did that a couple times. Like my ex had a birthday and I had to go to like Pins or something, like a bowling place. And I went there by myself and I'm just like, this is the most awkward shit. I didn't talk to anybody except my kids. And it's just like, this is so fucking awkward. I hated it.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this is going to turn out this next month. I'm just kind of just along for the ride. Just going to try to limit on what I do and who she's going over there with and stuff like that. I'm just watching. And I'm not going to get too involved in her aspect of it. I'm going to let her do her own thing, and then I'll obviously do mine on my own time and stuff like that with her because our birthdays are about the same. They're a couple days apart,
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah, we'll do it together. And hopefully it'll just be a big celebration for her, and she'll love it. And I want her to know that her mom and dad do love her so much, but they can't love each other, and sometimes it's just better off that way.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is making her letting her know that mommy and daddy, they both love you. Not it's not just one sided.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like I said, man, the biggest thing for me has been, just make sure I don't say anything bad or but in front of her, and like, she wants to call her mom on FaceTime a lot. So we do FaceTime, and I just turn the phone, and we just, there's sly comments that she'll throw out, or whatever. But, I take the gut punches and roll with it, man.
exactly, don't stoop to that level. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't even entertain it no more. That's what she wants. She loves that control and she loves to be, you know, nitpicking anything I do in my entire life. But like I tell everybody now, I got a mom and that she's not it. So, uh, we'll
She'll
get
get
there,
bored
man.
of that shit and she'll
Yeah,
get
yeah,
over it.
yeah. She'll find somebody else go bully later on. It's just right now it's me.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, man, it's difficult because she was in abusive relationships and stuff before me, and I like it's hard for me to process. How are you in an abusive relationship and putting all this on these guys, and saying that they did this, and they cheated and they blah blah blah
Right.
blah
And
blah.
then you do the same shit.
And you're going out here doing the same damn thing
Yep.
that they were.
I bet she's actually in pain because she just lost, the best thing that she had and isn't going to get any better. You know what I mean? Like you didn't cheat. You were faithful. You worked. You guys had a house. You got, were about to get married, have a kid. It's like, she just wasn't used to it. She was used to the shit back in the day. And, she probably couldn't handle it.
Yeah, and that's what I always say, man. That's just what she was used to. She was used to people lying and cheating and doing all this other things. Obviously, as a police officer, people try to do whatever they can to get out of citations and stuff like that. Whatever. Small town, so rumors go around and stuff like that. But I mean, I was an open book. She could look at my phone anytime, look at my social media. I mean, there was nothing to hide because I wasn't doing anything. So it it pissed me off a lot. I mean, I'd be lying to you, it didn't. So it still stings with the whole, how are you in an abusive relationship? But yeah, you're over here pretty much treating me like shit and walking on me. I'm having to walk on eggshells to be around you, you know. And it's not like she didn't have to, pay anything. She was just living her best life out here. Uh, but I mean, I couldn't. I came home every day. The house would be a mess, and stuff like that. So I started saying that I wasn't, what she wanted, and she didn't want the family little lifestyle, going on. She loved I'm going to go out with my friends. I'm going to go do this, that, But it was always a problem if, hey, I'm going to go see my brothers for a little while. I'll be back,
Yeah. She
or
wasn't ready for, to be a wife or to, I mean, I don't know how she is as a mom, but she just wasn't ready for that responsibility.
no, no. And I mean, I couldn't get her to do anything with me to go out with me or anything like that. But she's quick at the drop of a dime to go out and be with her
Yep.
friends. Still to this day. And so that was the conversation we've had. Going back and forth about getting back together was, you can do all these things with all these other people, but here I am still sitting here, and I'm just the biggest piece of shit to you. I'm good for you when it comes to money. Hey, I need gas, or hey, I need lunch.
Yep.
And I was,
Stability. And then that's
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's the only thing I was good for, man. That, and obviously my child. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, man, she didn't really give a shit. And like I said, it's just one of those things. I'm trying to build myself up every day and realize, like, I'm good. I'm a fine somebody. I'll have my family, like I want, and I just continue working hard, man, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, good for you, man. That literally is all you can do. You know what I mean? If you keep thinking about it and keep putting yourself down, if you were drinking, you stay down. You know what I mean? The only one who can help yourself is you. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
oh yeah.
good
You
for
know,
you.
I think so. Having that confidence, you got to have confidence in yourself to move on with anything.
Yep.
Uh, I like to consider things as a lockbox. So I remember the memories are there, and I put them in the lockbox, put it in the back of my head, and just keep going. And there's small things that will remind me of her. But I just shut it out and keep trying. And we message each other every day in regards to our daughter, and I try to make sure I limit conversation. Some days are some days I want to go in on her, but I don't.
Absolutely. I've
Yeah,
been there for sure.
yeah,
But awesome, man. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate that.
yeah. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome, man. All right. Have a good one.
All right, buddy. We'll
All right.
see.
Bye.
You can hold me down. You can hold me down. You can hold me down. You can hold me down.